Hello ED Crash Course members, Russell Peden here with just a quick video for tonight's call. I know I told you last week that I would be doing the call live from Washington, D.C. because we had planned on heading up tonight to be there for tomorrow's 4th of July celebration in our nation's capital and a special Salute to America celebration that's hosted by President Donald Trump. But because of the impending thunderstorms and weather that's coming through the D.C. area and even here in Virginia, we decided to stay at home and just celebrate the 4th of July like most people do at our home. We're going to have a little cookout tomorrow, some barbecue, go see some fireworks, even set off some fireworks here in our own backyard. But I told you, I don't cancel conference calls, and I didn't want to cancel the call tonight, so I wanted to record a video training for tonight's call and prep you for next week's call with our special guest trainer, Larry Smith. So anyway, guys, tonight, let me just take my hat off and I want to share with you, I can't believe we've gone this is our 6th week right here. We've gone 5 weeks and we haven't talked about personal development. We haven't talked about working harder on yourself than you do on your business. All we've talked about is your business. And, I wanted to share with you guys, in fact, let me see if I can find it. The very first book that Carol and I read on network marketing was a book called Making Big Money in MLM by Dave Roller. Dave Roller is, by the way, is Dave Savula, our #1 income earner in Legal Shield, #1 income of all times in Legal Shield. God rest his soul. But Dave Roller was his sponsor. He wrote a book way back in the early 90s called Making Big Money in MLM. It was the first book that we ever read on this industry outside of what we were getting from our mentors, Woody and Fred Alexander, who obviously knew Dave Roller well and worked with him in the early days of Legal Shield, prepaid legal back then. Anyway, guys, one of the second books that we ever read on it was called Power Multi-Level Marketing by Mark and Renee Reed Yarnell. They have their most famous book, which is a book that I'm going to challenge. In fact, I'll come back to that in a second, so remind me about that. And then we read a book by Dennis Windsor called Financially Free: The How-Tos of Building a Large, Successful Network Marketing Organization. Another great book. Many of these books may be out of print. The Power Multi-Level Marketing by Mark and Renee Reed Yarnell. Dennis Windsor's Financially Free. And there's a ton of other great books out there. But I wanted to focus tonight's training on a book by the Yarnells. Some of you have heard the book. Some of you have heard me talk about it before. It's called Your First Year in Network Marketing. In my opinion, it is the best book ever written on our industry of network marketing. Again, it's called Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell, Y-A-R-N-E-L-L. So Yarnell, and you want to pick it up. You can find some of them online. You can find them on Amazon. You can probably pick them up for about $10, maybe even a little bit less, because they're out of print. You got to find copies of them. But anyway, this isn't the book. This is the first book. The second one is the one I want to talk about. I don't have my copy because evidently I've given it to someone on the team or let them borrow it. If it's you, please get it back to me ASAP, if you know who you are. But anyway, guys, what I have in front of me, though, on my computer, I'm looking at it, is the table of contents from Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark and Renee Reed Yarnell. And I want to train from it tonight. My point here is that you want to not just educate yourself about what it takes to go executive director, but you want to educate yourself on the industry that you're involved in. That's the network marketing industry. There are tons of books out there, tons of great training. One of my favorite trainers, former 6-figure ringer, $100,000 ringer, and a Millionaire club member in Legal Shield. One of my favorite network marketing trainers is Michael Klaus. Anything you can get by Michael Klaus is super awesome, super simple. But I just encourage you to pick up the books, learn about the industry that you're involved in. Obviously, you want to learn about this company, and obviously there's tons of great books. Legal Shield has a book called Pathway to Platinum, which is over here somewhere. Pathway to Platinum. It's on my shelf somewhere. It's a book written by all of the platinum executive directors in Legal Shield on what they did to go platinum. So that'd be a book that should make its way into your library. Of course, the book that all of us know about now is a book called Building an Empire by our current #1 income earner, Mr. Brian Carruthers. This is a book that certainly needs to make its way into your library and into your mind, because he talks about how to build $1 million income in our company, Legal Shield. So this should be the book you certainly want to read. Obviously, the good thing about Mr. Carruthers is we get a chance to see him up close and personal at all the major events. You get a chance to meet him and spend some time. He'll be in Cabo San Lucas next week with many of us that are going there. So that's the benefit. These other folks are legends, but here's a guy who's a legend, but he's right here accessible to any one of us in Legal Shield. So let's back to Your First Year in Network Marketing. The first chapter, and I'm going to go through all the chapters in the book. The first chapter is called Ignoring the Rejection Rocket. Guys, I'm telling you, you want to read this book because that's the first thing. That is the first thing that kills people in this business. That's going to be the first thing that kills people on your team. It's called rejection. You need to, as a leader, understand that rejection needs to be your ally, not your enemy. You need to teach yourself and your team to identify and make sure that rejection is your ally. Mark and Renee Yarnell talk about how to do that in their book. Number 2 chapter is all about avoiding the management trap. We talked a little bit about this on the call. You don't want to be a manager of your team, you want to be a leader of your team. And they talk about how to reinforce self-sufficiency rather than dependency with the organization, especially if you want to have a business that grows on despite you. It grows away from you, and meaning that it grows so big, you'll have people joining your team that you've never even met before, and that's a great place to be. Number 3 is dodging the depression torpedo. You got to be excited. You got to always be excited. You got to be pumped up, fired up, because you can never let your team see you down, because they are riding off your energy. They're borrowing from your energy. So you always got to be pumped up. Even if you're going to go through some ups and some downs in this business, I guarantee, but you got to be fired up. You can never let your team know that you're down, because if you're down, they're going to be down. Because remember, your team does 100% of what you do wrong and 50% of what you do right. So as leaders, we constantly want to be fired up, pumped up. One of my favorite mentors in my life in this business is Art Williams. This is his most recent book called Coach. He built a huge organization today called Primerica. Back then it was called the A.L. Williams Company. Basically took on the entire 400-year-old life insurance industry and brought them to their knees. Him and like 86 other guys that he started his company with back in Georgia, a little town called Cairo, Georgia, and back in the late 70s. So another book that should make its way into your library, Coach by Art Williams. But again, going back to the Yarnell's book, guys, so dodge that depression torpedo, maintain your enthusiasm. Chapter 4 is called Blocking the False Expectation Tank. Win through integrity rather than exaggeration. Great chapter on how to build your business solidly and build it right with integrity instead of constantly, faking it till you make it. How to attack the warm list warhead. Again, in this era of technology, more and more people are getting away from that warm market contact list. And I'm telling you guys, it is gold. I've talked about that on our training calls. On Sunday, I've talked about it here on the crash course. The list is your friend. That warm market list of 100 names is worth at least $10,000 to you in commissions and overrides, in my opinion. That's not been proven, but I'm almost certain that I can prove it if I had to. So, but imagine if you get 200 names or 300 names and really teach people how to work their warm market list, even if they want to use technology to do it. But I'm telling you, it's huge. And Mark and Renee talk about it in their book. Fitting off the scatterbomb, how to stay focused and it's in the midst of distraction. In our business, there's so many distractions: the internet, television, Facebook, Instagram, all this stuff, not to mention the distractions within our own company. Maybe you want to do group business today because you see somebody having success. Maybe you want to do small business tomorrow because you heard about someone having success, or whatever it is. It could be technology, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. It doesn't matter, but you need to stay focused on the main thing. And that main thing for you right now is getting yourself in position to go executive director by the Salt Lake City Leadership Conference, or definitely by the end of this year, which is certainly the goal that we've talked about here on this call. So you need to stay focused and keep the main thing, guys. And the main thing is got to be recruiting and team building. Recruiting and team building. And as a result of marketing memberships, guys, our membership is what makes our business so great, but recruiting and team building is ultimately what's going to allow you to achieve the goal that you're trying to run after and ultimately build a huge business in Legal Shield. All right. The next one is eluding the meeting minds, how to avoid the pitfalls of counterproductive meetings. And today we do everything via Zoom and conference calls and stuff like that. But it's so important that you don't get caught up just meeting for the sake of meetings. Making sure that when you're meeting with your team, you're doing phone team, you're dialing for prospects and making exposures and following up. Don't just meet for the sake of meeting and have these counterproductive meetings. So that's a great chapter as well. Unloading the plug-in pistol. You got to teach people how to recruit and train others so they will not be dependent on you. You got to teach your team to be not so dependent upon others. They got to be dependent upon themselves. And this is how you really become a strong leader. And then deflecting the executive explosion is the last chapter, guys. Great chapter. So the 9 chapters of this amazing book, not a very big book, about this size, but it looks a little bit like this book. This is their third book by by Renee Roundell, but it looks kind of like this, but it's going to say your first year network marketing. This is kind of the scheme of the book. But anyway, guys, so I just wanted to record this training, give you a little bit heads up tonight. Looking forward to next week's call with our special guest, Larry Smith, as our special guest on our call tomorrow, next week. And actually, we will be doing the call next week from Cabo San Lucas. So you might even have an extra guest or two on the call, since we're going to be in Mexico doing the ED crash course. Some of you will be in Mexico with us as well, or at least the very next day. We get in a day early, so we'll have a chance to do the crash course call. But some of you are mostly probably coming in on Thursday, those of you that won the trip. Looking forward to seeing you guys there as well and helping you celebrate your success. So anyway, guys, wanted to record this video because I don't cancel any calls. So I want to record this video for you guys to make sure you got the training and information you need for tonight's crash course week number 6. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you on the call. Please leave your comments and your feedback in the GroupMe chat, in the Executive Director GroupMe chat thread about anything that I said. And I'm going to challenge you to get a hold of your first year network marketing between now and next Wednesday's call. And those that do, I have something special for you. I'm going to try to find out who has my copy, or I'm going to order myself another copy. But get your hands on this book if you can by next week's call. I guarantee it'll be well worth it, and I'm going to have a little special gift for those of you that are able to take the time to find that book. You can find it at the library. I've seen people find it at yard sales, but you can find it online on Amazon. People are selling copies of this book. Get yourself a copy. You might find one as little as a few dollars, but get your hands on this book by next Wednesday's Executive Director Crash Course. Anyway, appreciate each and every one of you. Looking forward to helping you achieve your goal of Executive Director by Salt Lake City in the coming weeks and months. This is Russell Peden signing off. Looking forward to talking to you guys next week. Bye-bye. See ya.